Coming up, all 7 Athens area football teams are in the playoffs starting tonight, and the basketball season is just getting started. We've got your pigskin playoff predictions and your hoops contenders and pretenders tonight on Sportsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for high school sports. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Sportsource.
Welcome to another episode of Sportsource. I'm your host, Mariah Rose, and we will be breaking down the upcoming Athens area football playoff matchups. Later, we will preview the basketball season, which recently started up. With both football and basketball in full swing, it's the best time of the sports year. First, we'll talk football. Now I am joined by analyst RJ Taylor. RJ, Clark Central started off the season with 2 losses and has been on a winning streak ever since. What are you expecting to see from the Gladiators against Maynard Jackson tonight?
Well, I expect to see Mariah Clark Central to run the ball a ton tonight. That's been the Gladiators' identity all season long. Quarterback Lucian Anderson has only attempted 13 passes. This team's defense only allows 17 points per game. It's been spectacular all season long. They'll win a 9th straight with relative ease tonight.
That game is in Athens tonight at 7 o'clock. Now we have more on the Gladiators' head coach, our coach in the spotlight, David Perani.
Has one of the best traits a head coach can have, and that is structure. Structure aids in consistency, something the Clark Central Gladiators are very familiar with since Perani took over back in 2016. In the 6 seasons Perani has coached at his alma mater, the Gladiators have won 3 region titles. Perno's approach traces back to a familiar name in the Athens community, Billy Henderson.
He taught me a lot of, just details and implemented some structure in our lives at that time that the guys who grabbed it really benefited from it, for years. Still, I can remember the little details that he implemented in our program and in our system, and I use a lot of them today.
Henderson coached the Gladiators for 23 years and won 3 state championships. Perani played for one of those championship teams back in 1985. Now he's aiming to win another as a coach. The top-seeded Gladiators host the Jackson Jaguars in the first round of the state playoffs tonight.
Feeling good about the game. He's really just giving us just the basics. He says it's just like any other game. We just got to go out there and play hard-nosed football.
The principles Perani learned from Henderson as a player are currently rooted in his coaching methods today. Both coaches found consistent success in their tenure with the program because of their preparation. The attention to detail Perani adopted from Henderson makes his preparation for the next game begin immediately after the last.
So my preps started Saturday after the game. I put away that film and started watching our opponent, and then all week we're implementing stuff throughout our practices and our meeting sessions, and I'm giving them a little bit each day, things to make sure they're aware of or be conscious of.
Wednesday group meetings prepare the team for Thursday walkthroughs. However, without coaches on campus during the day, organizing these group meetings is difficult. When Perani arrived in 2016, he realized there were only a handful of coaches on campus. Now almost every coach on staff teaches at the school.
Our athletic director, Coach Ward, was very helpful, and our principal, Dr. Huff, in helping me get teachers that actually were coaches, and so they're on campus all day. So those 2 things, getting more coaches in the classrooms and in the building throughout the day, and then getting more numbers on the field.
The structure Perani implements can occur on and off the field.
I'd say getting me up and getting me to watch film and stuff after my weightlifting class. I didn't used to do that.
Perani has won 3 of his last 4 first-round playoff games and hopes to make it another tonight. Brendan Koerner, Grady Sportsource.
Henderson was there for 23 years. Well, if Perani stays that long, we can definitely expect to see some more state titles on those school walls. Continuing with our playoffs breakdown, let's move on to the 1A private division, RJ. Athens Christian lost in the first round last year, and the Eagles will travel to Alpharetta to face St. Francis. Under a new head coach, RJ, do you think that this team has what it takes to go further against St. Francis tonight?
Well, like you said, Mariah, this is head coach. Eagles finished 6-3 and 2-1 in region play. The big storyline for Athens Christian is, can they get past the first round? That's something they haven't been able to do since 1991, 30 years ago.
Well, they're facing a team trending in the right direction tonight.
That's right. St. Francis is 5-5 and 3-1 in region and are currently riding a 5-game win streak. Like I said, Athens Christian hasn't won a first-round game in 30 years. That streak will end tomorrow. In a game that I think will see a lot of points scored, the Eagles will rely heavily on running back John S. Davis, averaging 11 yards a carry, and they'll get the road.
Well, in Class 3A, the Oconee County Warriors, last year's state runners-up, are hosting 8-2 Adairsville. What can we expect to see from Oconee County tonight?
Well, I think the Warriors will have a chip on their shoulders tonight. This team is coming off back-to-back state championship defeats and are the 2 seed from Region 8, believe it or not. Monroe area actually claimed the region championship after beating Oconee 17-14 on October 22nd. That was the Warriors' only loss this year.
Well, who do you think will make an impact tonight?
Well, tight end and LSU commit Jake Johnson will certainly make his presence known. He averages 17 yards a catch this year. And on the other side, Adairsville has made the playoffs 3 consecutive years, but haven't been able to get out of the first round since 2015, and that streak will continue.
After the break, we will continue with some unexpected playoff news here on Sportsource.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back to Sportsource. As we continue our coverage of high school playoff football with analyst RJ Taylor. RJ, let's talk about North Oconee hosting Miller Grove tonight. What do you think of the Titans?
Well, North Oconee's story all season long has been stunning. After a 1-3 start, the Titans won 6 straight all-region games. 2 weeks ago, they stunned Jefferson, at the time the AJC's #1 ranked 4A team in the state, on the road to capture the region title.
Well, what do you think it is that gives North Oconee a leg up?
Well, they benefit from their schedule. North Oconee's scheduled bye week was November 5th, which gave them adequate time to get healthy and get prepared for Miller Grove. It'll be a tall task for Miller Grove with North Oconee allowing just 16 points per game. The Titans will pull away to get to round 2.
You mentioned the Titans defense, RJ, and we've got one of their offensive stars as our player in the spotlight. Here's more from Stefan Caray.
Football is king. Over the last 4 years, the Titans became one of the premier programs in the greater Athens area. Titan Country, as it is affectionately called, was led by one man, Bubba Chandler. Now, Max Wilson has taken over. With a region championship already under his belt in his short career, Wilson wishes to fill the role that Chandler once had. In 4 years at North Oconee, Chandler became one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Georgia. In 2020, the standout quarterback, pitcher, and shortstop had committed to play football and baseball at Clemson University. However, In the 2021 MLB draft, Chandler was selected in the 3rd round by the Pittsburgh Pirates, leaving the keys to the kingdom in the young hands of Wilson.
I feel great. I feel confident. I feel confident about the guys around me. The big guys up front, they've been working hard. They've been getting after it. And I've got playmakers around me that are able to do their job and get after it.
Wilson's Titans closed out the season on a 6-game win streak. To be more specific, they went a perfect 6-0 in the region.
It's been great being a part of this team. We have a great group of seniors that have been able to lead us. They've been really impactful to the young guys.
Wilson wants to lead his team and himself to more than just victories.
Something that I want to do personally is create relationships on the field that will last longer than football.
When you fill the shoes of someone like Bubba Chandler, comparisons are always going to be made.
I think Bubba being here last year had a lot to do with Max's success this year. Max was under Bubba and learned a lot from Bubba and was able to be in the huddle every day with him and watch him and be in the room with him when they're looking at film and those type things. So I think he got to understudy under a really good one.
Dowis went on to describe Wilson in a single word: tough.
And I think that's his #1 attribute that he brings. He's very competitive. He leads in a good way. He encompasses a lot of the things that you want your quarterback to encompass. He encompasses for us.
Encompassing what you want a quarterback to be is exactly what he's done, winning the region, something that Bubba Chandler never did.
Well, as a student, he's a model student. He makes great grades. He's never in trouble. He's just exactly what you want a student to be.
When asked what it means to be a North Oconee Titan, Wilson had a very simple response.
It means family. You see kids, you see hundreds of kids out here watching these games, and at one point I was one of those kids, and being able to look up to this football team and then eventually be actually on this team is something special. And then once you get on this team, like I said, we've got a love that not a lot of people have, and I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud to be a Titan.
Wilson and his football family look to make a deep playoff run in the coming weeks. Stefan Caray, Carmichael Sports Media Institute, UGA.
Well, it seems that despite his young age, Wilson has really given his team something to be excited about going into these playoffs. RJ, let's shift to Cedar Shoals, which snuck into a 4 seed in Region 8. The Jaguars have a tough one tonight against Marist.
They sure do. It will not be easy for the Jaguars going on the road to face the AJC's #1 ranked 4A team in the state. Their best player, Jadavian Colbert, can't do everything for them. Marist will take care of business easily.
Well, moving back into the single-A private division, the reigning state champs at Prince Avenue Christian were supposed to face Kings Ridge tonight, but they're already in the next round. Tell us what happened, RJ.
Well, Kings Ridge forfeited. Prince Avenue Christian Athletic Director Richard Ricketts told the Athens Banner Herald he was confused by the decision. Apparently, Kings Ridge, quote, didn't feel like they'd be competitive.
Well, RJ, the Tigers were 4-7, and their only region win came against 1-8 Lakeview Academy. The Wolverines will play the winner of Brookstone and Whitefield on November 19th. In the meantime, our Anna Marian Block walked 100 yards with Prince Avenue wide receiver Bailey Stockton.
Anna Marian Block here, and I am walking 100 yards with Prince Avenue wide receiver Bailey Stockton. Okay, Bailey, what is your favorite meal?
Steak.
Okay. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare, of course.
Okay. And what sides?
Definitely corn and green beans.
Perfect. And you have had a really successful season. You just said you have a bye week for a first round of playoffs. What are y'all doing to prepare for the second round?
I think Coach just wants us to rest our bodies a little bit and then watch film and just see how we could get better as a team.
Okay. And how have you and Aaron filled the void of losing Brock, especially, but also Logan to UGA?
I feel like we just, during practice last year, we kind of knew that we were going to be those guys next year, so we paid attention to them during practice and in games. I think we just followed their footsteps really good.
Yeah, and how has the college recruiting gone? I saw you took a visit to Samford and Charleston, or College of Charleston?
And Coastal Carolina, so that's just. I'll probably go to Troy soon. I've been talking to a couple of their coaches as well, so anybody in the Sun Belt right now.
And you said you liked to go hunting.
I do.
What is your favorite thing to hunt, and where's your favorite place to hunt?
Of course, deer hunting, that's my favorite, and then I probably go like an hour and 30 with one of my best buds. His name's Luke Leverett. and we like to go hunting for we'll probably get there around 5:30ish, and then stay till around 12. We'll probably shoot shotguns and we'll go back hunting that night, so it's like a full day of hunting.
Okay. What is your favorite hype song?
Ooh, probably Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill.
Okay. What's your favorite Prince Avenue tradition? I know y'all have a lot, so what's your favorite? What do you look forward to on game night?
After the game, we sing the fight song in the locker room, and then Coach V gets real hyped when we play some music, and it's funny because he likes to dance.
What's his best dance move? Can you show us?
Oh, gosh. He just, does something like this and then gets up. It's funny. It's funny.
Do y'all join in?
Oh, yeah, we all join in. We turn the lights off and we start jumping. It's funny.
And are you going for a state title this year?
Of course. We knew from the start that we had a good shot, so let's hope we do.
All right. Good luck. This has been 100 Yards with Anna Marian Block and Bailey Stockton.
Well, even though they don't have a game this week, I think this team has still earned a celebratory dance in the locker room. To close off this playoff breakdown, RJ, tell me what you're expecting to see out of Athens Academy tomorrow.
The Spartans host Mount Pisgah out of Johns Creek. They finished 7-3 overall, and their only region loss came to Prince Avenue Christian on October 8th. Two-way player Gennario Holt is their main man, leading the team in sacks and is second in tackles.
Well, who's taking home the win in this one and why?
This week, I'm picking Athens Academy to win. They've got the hot hand and have won 3 straight, all convincingly, since that Prince Avenue loss.
After the break, we will discuss the upcoming basketball season, and you don't want to miss it.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. We are just a week away from the beginning of the high school basketball season. I'm joined by Reeves Jackson and Josh Talevski to tell us what we can expect. Now, Reeves, who is on your radar for this upcoming basketball season?
Well, Mariah, it's finally nice to talk about basketball. There's not much doubt that the first 2 teams on our docket today are the cream of the crop in the Athens area. And Josh, we're going to start here with Cedar Shoals, looking to build on an excellent season. The Jacks went 17-8 and took home the region championship by going a near perfect 10-1 in region play. They're led by point guard Kashik Brown, who's a senior. Last year's Region 8 Player of the Year averaged 21.2 points per game. And Josh, we know a ton about Jardavian Colbert. We've covered him all year long on the football field, running back for Cedar Shoals, but he also returns as one of Cedar Shoals' stars on the court. He was first team All-Region and averaged nearly 12 points per game last season.
I like the way you think, Reeves. Clark Central is coming off a region championship season in 5A. The Gladiators' Stefan Smith was Coach of the Year in 5A. Even though the Gladiators lost point guard Nono Mack and Region Co-Player of the Year Rio Foster to graduation, they have won senior Donovan transfer Roderick Jones entering the fold after averaging almost 22 points last season. And by the way, this guy had 6 double-doubles and 2 triple-doubles. I see another Region Player of the Year coming out of Clark Central this season.
Looks like there's some competitive hoops to look forward to in Athens this year. Now here's Davis Baker with more on these teams.
Often the first thing that people think of when it comes to high school sports in Athens. But over the last 5 years, Athens' 2 public high schools have had increasing success in boys basketball. Clark Central and Cedar Shoals High Schools, in fact, have put together some state title contending teams. 2 years ago, Cedar Shoals made it to the 5A state championship, and last year, both schools won more than 20 games. They also both won region titles and made it to the Elite 8 in their respective classifications.
I think basketball is making a run at it because, Cedar has some success. We're bringing our program to the forefront. We're actually ranked preseason number 6 right now. So people are starting to recognize that, we're playing basketball in Athens, Georgia.
Cedar Shoals tips off its season tomorrow night against Southwest DeKalb. Clark Central will play at Oconee County on Tuesday. Smith attributes the increase in basketball success to more youth teams and AAU teams, both in Athens and nearby Atlanta. More young athletes who will eventually play for the city's 2 public schools now practice and play year-round. Cedar Shoals senior point guard Kashyyyk Brown averaged more than 21 points per game last season. He has seen the game grow in Athens before his very eyes, from playing youth ball with East Athens to now starring at Cedar.
Because the team, we getting stronger, people coming together, teamwork, and the community just getting stronger on each and every level.
Chris Stars has covered high school basketball for the Athens Banner Herald since 2003. Both coaches have been in the Athens area for a long time, with Smith even coaching as an assistant at Cedar Shoals with Jaguars head coach Ladrico Thomas before coming back to Clark Central.
I want to tip my hat to the coaches. They've sort of re-energized the programs. And while I don't think either one of them have really been, terrible in, say, the last decade, I think they are climbing to new heights now.
And the ties to the Athens area certainly help both coaches. Smith at Clark Central and Thomas at Cedar Shoals are both alumni of the schools they coach, which adds a little something else to the rivalry.
It means a lot. It's something me and him talked about, a lot of, really trying to restore some tradition and bringing the rivalry really back.
Cedar Shoals dropped down to the 4A classification starting last year. So while the teams will not directly compete for a title, they will still face each other twice a season in non-region matchups. In the last 12 matchups, Cedar Shoals has won 8 of those, but Clark Central did win both last year, including a double overtime victory.
Basketball's been here, but it's just kind of been in the back burner because nobody broken through and won that state championship since 1941 as a boys basketball team in this area.
Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute at UGA, I'm Davis Baker.
Well, it sure is good to see basketball take the center stage in Athens for a change. So guys, what's the verdict? Are these teams contenders or pretenders?
These are the bad boys of Athens basketball. Make no mistake about it, Mariah. Cedar Shoals and Clark Central are both contenders and have their sights set understandably high for this campaign. Don't be surprised if one of these squads walks out of the state championship this season, Josh.
I completely agree, Reeves. Both of these programs are going to be contenders this season. Coach Smith has gotten off to a promising start with Clark Central, and Coach Thomas has proven he can lead his team deep into the playoffs after an Elite 8 appearance last year and a finals appearance in 5A the year prior. Now, Clark Central may need to find its form early in the season, especially with the Jones transfer, but I think it's a solid group. Cedar Shoals, though, they have the best shot at their first boys state championship in school history.
Let's move on and take a look at how the Oconee Public High Schools could fare this season.
Oconee County is a pretender for me. I think the losses of all region players Eli Nelson and Gabe Talkington are going to hurt the offense this season. And Reeves, the Warriors didn't really record a statement win last year to show me that they have a chance to field a competitive team.
Well, it's a wonderful thing seeing basketball take the center stage in Athens for a change. So guys, what's the verdict? Are these teams contenders or are they pretenders?
Well, these are the bad boys of Athens basketball, Mariah. Make no mistake about it. Cedar Shoals and Clark Central are both contenders and have their sights set understandably high for this campaign. Don't be surprised if one of these squads walks into the state championship this season, Josh.
I completely agree, Reeves. Both of these programs are going to be contenders this season. Coach Smith has gotten off to a promising start with Clark Central, and Coach Thomas has proven he can lead his team deep in the playoffs after an Elite Eight appearance last year and a finals appearance in 5A the year prior. Now, Clark Central may need to find its form early in the season, especially with the Jones transfer, but I think it's a solid group. It's Cedar Shoals, though, that has the best shot at its first boys state championship in school history.
Moving on, let's take a look at how the Oconee Public High Schools could fare this season.
Oconee County is a pretender for me. I think the losses of all-region players Eli Nelson and Gabe Talkington are going to hurt the offense this season. And the Warriors didn't really record a statement win last year to show me that they have the chance to field a competitive team. Now, North Oconee is an under-the-radar contender. Rick Rasmussen is a well-experienced coach, and Reeves, small forward Brody Scott had a very impressive summer league, averaging 13 points and 9 rebounds. The Titans have the potential to challenge Cedar Shoals for the region championship.
Well, Josh, I'm not too concerned here with Summer League basketball, but for better or worse, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate with you. Anytime you lose 2 All-Region 8 first-team guys, especially one now playing college ball at Valdosta State and Dylan Garrington, that's always tough to replace. 2 first-team region players are harder to replace than one, and Zach Exel is the best of both teams returning players in my eyes. So I will hammer the verdict of Oconee County as contenders and North Oconee as pretenders.
All right, guys, Athens Academy, Prince Avenue, and Athens Christian all compete in the Single A Region 8. However, none of these teams claimed the region title last winter. So Reeves, tell me what you expect to see out of Prince Avenue this season.
Well, Mariah, Prince Avenue's loss of experience after an already down year continues to put them at a disadvantage, especially losing guard Dallas Pettis. Kyma Williams is as dynamic as they come for Athens Academy, which automatically makes them contenders off the bat. Prince Avenue beat Athens Academy right before the region tournament last year, but then got knocked out 2 games later by ACAD to end their season. The Wolverines are a pretender this season, and Athens Christian is still the team to beat. As you know, Josh, that makes them this group's top contender.
I think you're exactly right, Reeves. Athens Christian is most likely still the best team out of the bunch. I don't see them experiencing another first-round playoff exit, and I am so excited to see what Jonas Davis can do on the basketball court after what's been an outstanding football season. I'd also argue that Athens Academy can be a contender this season after winning 4 of their last 6 games at the end of last year, and one of those 4 games was when they knocked Prince Avenue out of that region tournament. So they have the better overall player too in Williams, who averaged almost 16 points. That makes Prince Avenue my pretender.
All right, guys, let's move on to some girls basketball. What can we expect to see from the Oconee Public High Schools this season?
Just like I said for the boys, Mariah, North Oconee is a contender, Oconee County is a pretender. Oconee County played inconsistently. They traded wins and losses with Franklin and Hart County in region play, and they didn't fare too well in non-region games where they lost to bigger programs such as Cedar Shoals and East Jackson. Now, for North Oconee, they have the potential to use their three-point shot ability to keep the Titans in games. With Maddie Dickens and Callie Jackson shooting 42% and 35% respectively, the Titans have 2 dangerous scoring options. Reeves, this could be the Titans' strongest backcourt in a long time.
Yeah, it really could be, Josh. And just as we talked about for the Prince Avenue boys, the Warriors team graduated 3 seniors according to Max Preps, but watch out for returning guard Anna Niemeyer. She was first team all-region and will look to keep the Warriors competitive in a very tough region. We know who's in there. You got Cedar Shoals, North Oconee, a good bunch over there. We know how good North Oconee will be, as you just mentioned, which I believe makes them strong contenders, but puts Oconee County on the outside looking in right now as pretenders.
Well, as Reeves said, we know that both their boys' teams are the bad boys of Athens basketball, but what about the Cedar Shoals and Clark Central's girls' teams?
Well, Mariah, when it comes to the Cedar Shoals girls team, all you really need to know is one word. That's dominant. Going 15-7 last year and 7-5 in 4A Region 8, the Jaguars exploded in the playoffs and really found their identity. After a close 1-point win over Luella in the round of 32, they won the next 2 rounds before being bounced in the Final Four by Carver Columbus, Josh. And this group of girls will look to lead the Athens pack once again in 2021, and honestly, there's no reason why they can't do it. I know that you're about to dive in on the Gladiators, but I think Clark Central's region is too tough in 5A, and that makes them pretenders in my eyes.
Okay, that is a fair take, Reeves. And this might be a bold take, but I'm confident that both of these teams will be strong contenders this season. It's hard to argue against Cedar Shoals after they reached the Final Four last season, but I think that the lack of roster turnover for Clark Central is really going to help them. They can get comfortable with one another and learn to play consistent basketball, especially with all-region recipients Autumn Wallace and Micaiah Pittard returning.
All right, guys, let's close out this preview with the girls' teams from the area's private schools. Tell me what we know about Athens Academy.
Athens Academy is the only team that I can see going far in Region 8 this year. I like the Spartans' core group of players, especially Julia Sally Barnett, and they have the co-coach of the year in Brian Olson. I believe the Spartans will claim the region championship this season. Prince Avenue is a playoff caliber basketball team to me, Reeves, but I don't think they're one that will advance past the first round of the playoffs. The loss of Region 8 Player of the Year Carly Armstrong might set the Wolverines back more than they think. And while it would be fun to see the Athens Christian girls go from worst to first after a winless season, I expect more of a repeat performance from last year.
We got multi-sport coach Van Beecham over there, but, well, Josh, Big Brother Brock led the Wolverines to its first ever football state title in 2020, and now from one Vandegrift to another, it's Audrey's turn to lead this team in pursuit of state championship aspirations. As a freshman last year, Josh, he finished on the all-region second team. The Wolverines have strong potential to build on last year's 8-10 season, which saw them go 500, 4-4 in region play. As you mentioned, though, Josh, the one thing that does hurt them is losing Armstrong, who now plays collegiately at Barry. It's never easy to make up losing the Region Player of the Year and someone of her skill set on the floor. This Wolverine team could be sneaky, though, this upcoming season. Watch out for them. They could really compete with ACAD for a top spot, in my opinion. And them, as well as Athens Academy, are contenders here, with Athens Christian as unhopeful pretenders.
Well, that was fun, guys. I can't wait to see if you guys are right about these contenders and pretenders this season. Well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in to this special edition of Sports Source.
Grady News Source is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.